Good day, everyone, and welcome back to the Clever Report. It's yours truly, Peter Clever. Today, we're going to talk about the bombshell story about the Belgian forward that has been making rounds on social media everywhere in the world. People have been having diverse opinion about his actions. So basically, Jeremy Doku, sent a video of talking about leaving the Belgian camp briefly, so that he can see to the birth of his unborn child, his first child. So it has sparked various controversies online, like people giving serious takes about this issue of a father trying to be there for the birth of his first child. So firstly, I want us to watch the video he made, and then I'll give you my take on the whole issue.
I've decided to withdraw from the World Cup and return to my wife to stay by her side as we welcome the birth of our child. I know this decision comes rather abruptly. The team is right in the crucial knockout stage, and every match is a grueling battle. Everyone is giving their all to chase victory. As a footballer, I love this sport deeply, cherish my teammates who fight alongside me, and hold every fan who supports me close to my heart. Yet when my wife told me her due date was drawing near, and when I pictured her enduring this monumental yet daunting journey all alone, my heart made it clear. My family needs me right now. I have to go back. I've spoken at length with the head coach and all my teammates about this matter. They offered their full support without hesitation, and the team has drawn up thorough tactical contingency plans. I assure everyone that I will stick to a structured training regimen while I'm away. If circumstances permit, I will fly back to the pitch at the earliest opportunity to stand together with the squad.
Now, firstly, personally, after watching that video for the first time, my first instinct was kudos to Jeremy Doku. A young man getting married, doing things the right way, having a wife, having a stable family, and irrespective of the fact of the flashy nature or the lifestyle of athletes of pregnanting multiple women at multiple places, it should be the first thing that every rational thinking person should commend Jeremy Doku for, living an exemplary life. So secondly, there has been widespread outrage about this young father trying to be there for his family. The most popular of them is from France Perrion, the journalist that works for the program L'Equipe de Choc. Pardon my French, I'm not French, so I don't know how to speak French fluently. So L'Equipe de Choc, she made a statement, criticizing Doku, saying that he's not going there to do anything, his presence is basically not needed. And one of the most damning statements she made was that he's just going there to cut an umbilical cord. It is crazy. We live in a very genocentric social order that criticizes men heavily, especially when they perceive that he's not being an intentional father or he's not being a present father in the life of his kids. But here comes Jeremy Doku, a young footballer with with millions of dollars, but still trying to find a way to be there for his family, to be a father to his family, to be a husband to his wife, to help his wife in one of the most vulnerable, times to be a woman, when she needs support from her husband, when she needs support from her family and friends. But this French journalist, France Perrion, is criticizing him. This comes to the largest situation or conversation about what do these people want, especially feminists, these liberal white women. What do they want? If Jeremy Doku has stayed in camp and then focused on the World Cup, and they would have said, yes, he's not an intentional father, he doesn't care about his wife, this is what men do, toxic masculinity, blah 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 blah. But now he has taken the other alternative route of, it's not even that he's going to go there and stay there throughout the competition just to witness the birth of his first son or his first child, in the case there may be, and then give his wife moral and emotional support, and then come back to camp and finish the job. But she's talking about the World Cup being the pinnacle of everything. Yes, we know the World Cup, but family comes first. Jeremy Doku is very, very young. Let's even say he doesn't get to play in this World Cup anymore. He still has an opportunity to play in 2 or 3 World Cups during the course of his career. But not witnessing the birth of his first child is something that is crazy. Yes, are there people that can do that? Their wife will toughen it up. Fair and good, commendable. But he has taken the alternative road to, witness this firsthand. And, all these liberal people always talk about the ability to choose, my body, my choice. I want to choose what to do with my body, my time, and everything. But when somebody makes an alternative decision or chooses an alternative thing that doesn't, align with their own warped logic, they find a way to criticize that person. Same with Emma Wolf, a political commentator from the UK. She was on national TV, spewing all sorts of nonsense. So I want us to watch the clip now, and then I'll give my reaction on what Emma Wolf said.
Lovely. But it's not a surprise that his wife was due to give birth. I don't understand why he agreed to go out to America and be part of the team if he knew that his wife was due in July, second week of July. Why would he agree? Why would they select him, given that he intends to return home for the birth of his first child? My view, Dawn, fathers, during the war, for centuries, in fact, fathers were not present at the birth. He will survive. The baby will survive. It'll all be okay. There is no evidence, by the way, that fathers who were not at the birth don't bond with their children. So it's not a problem. I believe now, if he's agreed to go out there as part of the team, if he's been selected as part of the Belgian team, then he needs to go out and get on with his highly paid job. And with respect, his wife needs to get on with her job, which as a pregnant woman, in your 8th, 9th month, you know what your job is. She will have plenty of medical support. She will have plenty of family. If she needs a different birthing partner or her best friend or her mum, she will have that around her. It's a shame, but it's not a crisis. He shouldn't have agreed to go if he wasn't ready to be out there.
OK, and a French journalist who's been commentating on this has said to Rome, are you seriously telling me these players have sacrificed everything to come to the World Cup? And you, she says, addressing Doku, personally, you're leaving just to cut an umbilical cord. I mean, surely there's more to being a father, it is Father's Day, than cutting the umbilical cord at the birth of your child.
Well, to that, I would say football is just a game. And luckily for him, he's on a very high wage. If he wasn't that good or he was not going to be there, then they obviously have some kind of financial agreement. Now, he is having respiratory problems already on the pitch. That's been documented. They don't think he's going to play against Iran. So basically, that scuppered that out the way anyway. And imagine if he had an injury or something else and he said, oh, I'm not going to go and see the birth of my child. He would kick himself. Now, I think also other players have been let off to go and see the birth of their children. There was Fabian Delph in 2018. Gareth Southgate congratulated him, as well as Phil Foden. So people have been okay with it. And this isn't the 1950s anymore. I know there has been a lot of scathing comments saying that he's useless and that there's, anybody can cut the cord. But I don't agree with that. I think it's special and I think he should go and do it and enjoy it. And also he's like gold dust. He's going to always get the work. It's not going to jeopardize his career.
Yet again, we see another case of a liberal white woman trying to school the whole world, or trying to school Jeremy Doku on how to live his life or how to run his family. Equating football to war. It is crazy. Football is an entertainment sport. Yes, there is a pride in representing your nation, but it's not war. They are not being drafted to go and fight for the freedom of their nation, of the sovereignty of their nation. It's just a political, an entertainment sport that the whole world loves. And it's more than sports. The birth of someone's child is bigger than sports. But she's just talking about in a very crass way, saying he should just go back to his high-paying job. Nobody wants him there. It is very, very crazy. So there's no winning with these people. If Jeremy Doku has said, okay, let me toughen it up, let me represent my country, and my wife will be fine, they would have still criticized him. And this is a very weird case. Phil Foden in the last Euros had to, leave the camp, take his script during the birth of his 4th child. And nobody betted an eye. Nobody said anything. I've seen people online calling him a weak man for trying to be there for his family, trying to be there for his wife. This is very, very crazy. This is crazy in the world we live in, that a man trying to be the quote-unquote intentional man or the present husband or the present father is being heavily criticized for trying to go to witness or be there for the birth of his first child. So I don't even know where we are going with this kind of rhetoric or this kind of sentiment. And I'm sure these women are feminists from the way they are speaking. You see that they are feminists. These people hate the family unit. They hate the family unit. They hate children. It's so obvious. And now the Equipe de la Choc has actually taken this France Perrion off the air. A part of me is, I don't like censorship. I like a situation whereby let the marketplace dictate what, the value you have, the kind of opinions you're spraying online is left for the marketplace to dictate. But on the other hand, this is a mainstream media outlet, because it is being seen that her rhetoric is now reflecting the opinions of these media outlets, even if they've come around to dispel what she's saying, saying that they don't agree with what she said. But I understand taking her off air, but I think it's a slippery slope, because if everybody says something that most people do not agree with, and then people are now removing them off air or censoring them, it's a slippery slope. Because what if the day someone says the one you don't like? In my own opinion, allow her to be on the show, even though it's going to tank the rate of the show, but people will see her for who she is. And people will know that if there are other hosts or other segments of the show, people will see that this does not reflect solely on the intentions of the media outlet. So, kudos to Jeremy Doku. In a world filled with, many, dads that are not present in the lives of their children, he's choosing his family first, regardless of the opinion of the world. Kudos to him, and I hope his wife delivers safely, and I hope he makes a very good dad in the future. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So make sure you like, subscribe. You might not agree with me in everything I said about this issue, but give me your comment section. Give me your comment in the comment section and be respectful about it. I love you, but God loves you more.